On that breaking news now, joining me now is the Shadow Attorney-General Andrew Wallace. Andrew, thank you for being with me. You heard what Tom Connell said before. It is unlikely that there will be a leadership challenge now. Angus Taylor is going to bide his time. Is that your understanding as well?
Well, Caleb, I've been saying for a couple of weeks now that this is a storm in a teacup, that this is a beat up from a small number of Liberal backbenchers, that I honestly did not believe that there would have been a challenge no matter what. So we're getting on with the job. My colleagues are getting on with the job. The only people who are really interested in this is the media. I never saw this as a potential or real viability.
Does that mean that the coalition isn't going to get back together in certainly the short term anyway, for as long as David Littleproud is the leader of the Nationals anyway? Because he's made it pretty clear he doesn't want to work with Sussan Ley.
Well, look, the National Party has got their processes to go through on Monday, I believe. They have their own leadership spill. So, look, that's a matter for them. But, David has, I think, been a little bit more conciliatory in his language since he made those remarks. At the end of the day, Caleb, I think everybody should understand that the Liberal Party or the National Party cannot hold Labor's feet to the fire individually. We're better together, we're stronger together, and we should be doing that in a formal coalition. And many of my colleagues are of that view, and we're keen to get the show back on the road as quickly as possible. Yeah,
of course. I guess the question is, though, is Sussan Ley the person to do that job? Because if you look at the polling at the moment, the big surge for One Nation, right? And part of that might be internal fighting within what was the coalition. But some people would lay some of that blame at the feet of Sussan Ley. So, A, is she the person to get that job done, to put the feet to the fire? And B, does she actually have the numbers now, or is it simply that no one is going to challenge her because they'd rather leave her there for a while?
Caleb, Sussan has had the numbers since the last election in May of 2025. This has been a storm in a teacup. I've had a lot of people ask me lots of questions about this, but in my view, Sussan has always had the numbers in the party room. And when you look at Sussan's performance, particularly over summer, in holding Anthony Albanese to account in the appalling way that he has conducted himself and the government, particularly since Bondi. Sussan did a terrific job. I was on the ground with Sussan at Bondi in the days after December 14, and I saw her interact with people, and I saw her feel and share their grief and pain. And I think she did an outstanding job. She dragged the Prime Minister kicking and screaming to finally announcing after 25 days a Royal Commission. And we managed to secure some very, very good amendments to the bill that we had to come back for, a week or so ago. So I think she's done a very good job. I have seen Sussan in closed-door meetings, and the more I see of her as leader in those closed-door meetings, the more I see that she is a strong woman. She's an incredibly strong woman. She's been told all her life that, she can't do this and she can't do that. And she continues to get back up and to surprise people. And I think if people would give her a chance, she's only been in the job since May of last year. She's done nothing wrong. And she, I believe, has done an exceptional job, particularly over Christmas, in what could be described as only very, very difficult circumstances. So I've always said I don't believe that there will be a spill, and I think that's being proven or will be proved correct next week.
Just very quickly, Andrew, we've got to go in a minute, but Ms Ley also announced her sort of expanded shadow cabinet today, which isn't really an expansion, it's the same people, but you've picked up a whole bunch of acting positions until such time as a full cabinet is filled out. Quite a few of you will have some reading to do this weekend.
Well, look, I think this is a very sensible approach of Sussan's, because what it does is it leaves the door open to the Nats. If Sussan had appointed a whole new bunch of shadow ministers, then that would have made it very difficult for a reunion subsequent to that. But she's approached this in a very pragmatic, sensible way. These people will only have these responsibilities for a very short while, these additional responsibilities.
Yep.
And it leaves the door open to David Littleproud and the Nats to see sense and come back into the tent.
We shall see what happens. Andrew, thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Authorised by Andrew Wallace, LNP, Boccarina, Queensland.